The 144,000 that we know about in Revelation, we know that is the 12 tribes of Yasharel. But I watched a Christian evangelical Caucasian man say that Yahuwah is choosing 12,000 Christian men. That's who are the 12,000. Does that make sense? It doesn't. So let's talk about it. Revelation clearly says in Revelation 7:14, and I heard the number of them which were sealed, and there were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel. Revelation 7:4. Each tribe is listed by name: Yehuda, Reuben, Gad, Asher, Naphtali, etc. These are the physical tribes of Yasharel, Israel, not symbolic Christians. But in Western theology, many pastors, especially evangelicals, teach something called replacement theology, the idea that the church has replaced Yasharel. So when a pastor says the 12,000 from each tribe means faithful Christians, he's following that replacement ideal, that Israel equals the church, and that the promises to Yahuwah's covenant people now belong to Christians in general. This interpretation erases the literal descendants of Yasharel and ignores that Yahuwah made an everlasting covenant with Abraham's seed, Genesis 17:7-8 and Romans 9:4-5. Where did the word evangelical come from? A lot of people may not know this, so let me tell you where it came from. It is a Greek word, euangelion, meaning good news or gospel. So originally, an evangelical was simply someone who proclaimed the good news about salvation through Yahushua, though they say Jesus. But over time, especially in Europe and North America, evangelicism became a movement, not just a description. The historical background of evangelicism is the 1500s Reformation. Protestant reformers like Martin Luther and John Calvin broke away from the Catholic Church. They emphasized salvation by faith and Scripture alone. The key results are the word evangelical was used to Protestants who followed the gospel rather than church traditions. In 1700s to 1800s, the Great Awakenings, revival movements in England and America stressed personal conversion, born again, emotional preaching, and missions. Evangelical began to mean those who emphasize personal salvation, evangelism, and the authority of the Bible. The 1900s to today, in the U.S., evangelicalism became a powerful religious and political identity, especially after World War II. It joined with Zionism, conservative politics, and end times prophecy teachings, rapture, the 7-year tribulation, and all this nonsense that you're hearing right now. So evangelical today usually means a Protestant Christian who believes in being born again, spreading the gospel, supporting Israel, and waiting for the rapture, even though the last parts weren't part of their original faith. So why they say it doesn't matter what his name or race is. It's okay to say Jesus or Jesus or whatever they call it in other countries. That's part of the Europeanized theology created when the scriptures were translated and reinterpreted through Greek and Latin lenses. They replaced the Hebrew name Yahusha with Greek Jesus, Latin, English Yahus, and Jesus. They depicted him as European in art and culture. They downplayed his Hebrew identity and connection to the tribe of Yehuda, which is Judah. That's the reason why a lot of these European Christians and people all over the world don't even know that Yahusha is actually Hebrew, and that the children of Israel, which is Jacob's name that was changed to Israel, they were all Hebrews. Moses was a Hebrew. Abraham was a Hebrew. It came from the line of Shem. They all were Hebrews. They don't even know that because they've been taught that they've been Europeanized. How can they be Europeanized if they were in Africa? It's just sad how so many people that proclaim to be Christians, they didn't even know that Yahushua and his people are Hebrew people. I mean, goodness gracious, they have a chapter, a book in the New Testament that says the book of Hebrews. Nobody's bothering to read that. Maybe I should just do a series on the book of Hebrews and just talk about, because that's directly to his people. So when everything, like the pastors say, it doesn't matter what his name or race is, they are really saying we are comfortable with the version we inherited. But in scripture, Yahuwah's name and his son's name are holy, set apart, and not to be changed. In Exodus 3 and 15, Acts 4 and 12, and John 17 and 6. So you can call him any other name that you want to, but there's only one name that he will answer to. Once you find out the truth, there's no turning back. It's a choice if you want to continue with the lie.